Singers are fun to record, but no matter if they sound like Beyonce or if they sound like a high school choir kid who really doesn't want to be there, they may need some help with their performance. As a Logic Pro user, Flex Pitch has been my go-to pitch correction option for several years now, but as a part of my obsession to get my mixes to sound as professional as possible, I recently invested in Melodyne. Is Melodyne better than Flex Pitch?
LMK Productions.
First, let's talk about the price. Flex Pitch comes stock with Logic Pro. So for the $199 that you pay for Logic Pro, you also get Flex Pitch. Melodyne can be purchased in different packages that start at $99. However, that specific version doesn't have all the features that Flex Pitch has. So if you want the version of Melodyne that has the same features as Flex Pitch, as well as a few additional ones, that costs $249, which is more than the cost of Logic Pro by itself. If prices are concerned, Flex Pitch is the obvious winner. So now let's switch gears and talk about which is easier to use, Flex Pitch or Melodyne. So I have my song Patience pulled up as an example. By the way, I'm not really a real singer. I do sing a little bit in the song during the hook, but it'll be good enough to get the point across. So in terms of actually using Flex Pitch, it's really easy since it's built right into Logic Pro. All you need to do is click Command and F, or click this icon over here, which is the flex mode. Make sure flex mode is on if it's not already. Click Enable Flex, and make sure that down here, Flex Pitch is selected. And then from there, you just click on the region that you want to edit. You go through and click on the little blobs to move them up or down. Or if they're not already centered, you click, just double tap them, and that way it makes it perfectly within pitch. And then of course you can control the pitch drift and vibrato as such, as well as the fine pitch for the note. So let's say, for example, if you didn't want it to be all the way perfect, or maybe if you wanted to slide it a little bit above or below the actual note, you can drag it up or drag it down. To me, that's really easy to use. So with Melodyne, basically you have two different options that you can choose from. You have either Melodyne or Melodyne ARA. Basically with the original version of Melodyne, you have to load it up onto the track, and then you actually have to manually transfer the audio inside of the Melodyne plugin. So all you have to do is, after I load it up, click transfer, and then I'll play to show you what it looks like.
Cheer. I woke up healthy, that's a reason to give thanks. There's no needing to complain, just be patient while we wait for this time to pass. No, it will not last.
So now the track looks pretty similar to what Flex Pitch looks like. You can still manipulate the little blobs, and you can do relatively similar controls. The problem with that, of course, is that it is time consuming, especially when you do pitch correction over a good portion of the song. So the other option that you have is actually to use Melodyne ARA. And the difference with that being, you still get all the same controls, except now, instead of having to manually load everything into Melodyne, all you have to do is click play.
Cheer. I woke up healthy.
And now instantly, this entire track right here was loaded up in the Melodyne, and then you can instantly start to manipulate it the same way that you would with Flex Pitch. And then when it comes to the actual controls themselves, if you have been using Flex Pitch for several years like I have, it is a little bit of a learning curve to learn the shortcuts specifically. The controls themselves are really similar, where you can zoom in, you can move notes up and down, and then to pull up the different tools within Melodyne, you would have to right click and then select which tool, which that part I do admit is slower than Flex Pitch if you're doing it this way. You also can set up your own shortcuts, which I do recommend and what I've done, so that way it does speed up the workflow. But with that being said, even though I don't think Melodyne is necessarily hard to use, especially after you get used to it, I would say Flex Pitch does win a little bit on the ease of use side of things. But up until this point, the differences between Melodyne and Flex Pitch might not have been super significant up until now, where we're going to talk about the sound, which is exactly why I actually decided to buy this plugin. And so while I do think that the results that you can get from Flex Pitch are usable, it's not perfect. Just simply turning on Flex Pitch without even manipulating the track can introduce some weird noises and artifacts that does color up the track in a way that may not be super pleasant. Sometimes it can be really noticeable, sometimes it's not, especially in a track like this where the singing vocals are a bit more in the background and also covered in reverb, so it does hide some of those imperfections, to be honest. But to me and to many other professionals around the world, Melodyne does sound noticeably more clean and more professional than Flex Pitch. I've been using Melodyne for about a month now, and I haven't noticed the same type of artifacts you expect to get from Flex Pitch. But let's not take my word for it. I'm going to isolate both of these tracks. I did do pitch correction to both of these tracks, and while they're not exactly the same, you will be able to hear a difference in terms of the actual sound quality itself. So now I'm going to play the tracks one at a time, and then you tell me if you can hear the difference.
I woke up healthy, that's a reason to give thanks. There's no needing to complain, just be patient while we wait for this time to pass. No, it will not last. Be thankful that we got to see another day. I woke up healthy, that's a reason to give thanks. There's no needing to complain, just be patient while we wait for this time to pass. No, it will not last. Be thankful that we got to see another day.
So outside of the horrible singing itself, if you paid attention to the actual sound quality difference, to me, the results that you can get from FlexPitch are usable enough, but they definitely don't sound nearly as clean as Melodyne. I did hear some artifacts, I did hear some unwanted distortion or saturation in a track that was using FlexPitch. And for some people, it may not be that big of a deal. If you're not really paying attention to it, or maybe if it's like a background vocal, it may not be super noticeable. But to me, the sound quality difference between the two, especially if you were to stack up a bunch of different tracks that you're doing pitch correction on, to me, Melodyne is clearly better. Should you buy Melodyne? In my opinion, if you're new to mixing vocals or if you don't really work with a lot of singers who need pitch correction, FlexPitch actually might be a good option for you. Even though FlexPitch isn't perfect, I've been using it for years and I really haven't gotten any complaints from the artists that I work with. If mixing is your specialty, if it's one of your sources of income, and if you care about giving your clients the best results possible, then I actually think Melodyne is worth it. Because while FlexPitch is usable, sometimes the artifacts are hard to ignore, and to my ears as well as many professionals around the world, many of us agree that Melodyne is one of, if not the best pitch correction softwares on the market. This is my personal opinion, but if I expect clients to come to me and invest money into me to mix their music, I should have no problem with investing in equipment or software that allows me to give them the best product possible. And I've never been someone to encourage people to spend a lot of money on plugins, but I do encourage producers to invest into different plugins that can either speed up the workflow or increase the quality of their work, and Melodyne happens to be one of them. So to wrap this video up, once again, if you're someone who's new to mixing vocals, or if you're someone who doesn't really work with a lot of singers or artists who need to use pitch correction, then FlexPitch will probably work fine for you, because while FlexPitch isn't perfect, it does give usable results. And even though I, as a producer and engineer, can hear some of the imperfections that FlexPitch does have, most of the artists I work with haven't complained. And if mixing is one of your streams of income, if you work with a decent amount of singers who would like to use pitch correction, and if you care about giving your clients the best product possible, then I would encourage you to invest in Melodyne. Unquestionably, the results that you do get from Melodyne are noticeably better than FlexPitch, which to me makes it worth investing in. And by the way, if you are interested in purchasing Melodyne, I actually have an affiliate link for it in the description of this video. This is not a sponsored video, but if you do happen to purchase Melodyne through that affiliate link, I do get a percentage of that sale, which will get reinvested back into my business, back into the YouTube channel, so that way I can continue putting out high quality music and high quality videos for you. So now I want to know, what do you think about Melodyne? Do you think it's worth investing in? Do you like how it sounds? Do you think FlexPitch actually sounds fine all by its own? Let me know in the comment section below. My name is El Marquis Productions. God bless.